In this video, I'll give you a quick tour of the interface and show you how easy it is to get started in Design 3D. I'll show you where the tools, palettes, and windows are located and briefly explain how to use each one. The model I have open right now is showing the saxophone shape. The saxophone is one of the pre-made shapes that ship with Design 3D. This is a great model to show off a few of the new features of Design 3D CX8, including the new Light Dome editor, and in particular, the Live Ray display technology. We'll get into those features in more detail in some of the later videos. For now, we'll start off with a simple model to review the basics of the user interface. You'll notice that the layout is very similar to Adobe user interfaces. The menus are arranged into familiar groupings that will help you quickly find the commands you need. You'll find commands that are familiar but are applied to a three-dimensional world, and other commands that are very specific to modeling and rendering your 3D scenes. On the far left of the button bar is the Convert button. This allows you to change an object from one type of geometry to another. This command can also be found in the Modeling menu. To the right of the Convert button are shortcuts for commonly used commands, such as New, Open, Save, Publish, and so on. By hovering the mouse over the icons, you can see the name of the tool pop up. This is true for most tools and icons in the interface. This part of the button bar is the numeric feedback area. This shows you the location of your cursor in the modeling window, as well as other feedback information. On the right side of the button bar are the palette management icons. Use these to hide or show individual palettes. Here in the middle is the main modeling window. This is your 3D modeling space. This is where you'll create and position objects, set up your scene, and generate finished images referred to as renderings. We'll cover this in more detail in the Windows and Views video. Here on the left of the screen is the tool palette. The tool palette is organized into logical sections. Up here at the top is the Object Manipulation section. These tools include the Move, Rotate, and Scale tools. These tools can be used to manipulate objects by clicking directly on the object, or by using the handles that show on the bounding box of selected objects. Next is the Drawing Tools section. These tools provide 3D, 2D, and specialty object drawing tools. This top tool gives you access to all of the 3D drawing tools. The objects you create with these tools are often used as building blocks for more complex objects. Next, we have 2D object drawing tools. These tools create two-dimensional objects. 2D objects can be useful for many things: to create a simple platform for your scene, as a starting point for modeling, and they can even be converted into animation paths. Here are the Bezier pen tools, which create Bezier lines or regions. These tools work similar to the ones you'll find in Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. This next tool generates 3D text and offers a variety of bevel options and curved paths for your text. There are many options to explore with this tool. Next is the Modeling Tools section. This allows you to generate a 3D object from a 2D object, with variations like lathe, skin, and this extrude tool. These are the Boolean tools. These tools let you take one object and use it to cut or combine with another object in different ways. These tools let you mirror an object to get a flipped reflection version of that object. These tools let you deform an object using a cage of points surrounding the object. This next group of tools offers a variety of tools to assist you in manipulating and animating your objects. We'll cover the basics of modeling in more detail in the modeling video. This section provides tools for placing point lights, spotlights, and camera objects directly into your scene. These local lights can be combined with global lighting. We'll cover lighting in more detail in the lighting video. These tools allow you to insert and manipulate guides and grids in your model. In the lower section of the tool palette are the View Manipulation tools. Use these to move, rotate, or zoom your view. Down here at the very bottom of the tool palette is the Rendering tool. You can use this tool as a quick way to start a rendering. By holding down on the Render tool, you'll see the presets available for this tool. You can even save your own rendering settings to add to this list. The other palettes let you control various aspects of your model and provide tabs to give you access to different panels of the palette. Double-clicking on a tab minimizes the palette. Clicking again once on any tab expands the palette again. These palettes on the right side of the screen have the ability to dock themselves together. At the bottom of the screen is the Resource palette. Resources include textures, shapes, effects, gels, and backgrounds. You can drag and drop resources into the modeling window. The Resource palette is where all of the pre-made resources appear. It's also where you create and manage your own resources. You can click on one of the tabs at the top to switch between resource types. You'll notice that when I click on the Shapes tab, the Shapes libraries display in the bottom area. Libraries contain pre-made resources that ship with Design 3D. You can also create your own libraries of objects that you use on a regular basis. You can use the tabs to select individual libraries or use this pop-up list. The section at the top contains the resources that you are using in your model. Currently, in this model, we have a variety of shapes and textures loaded into the model. At the top right is the Object Properties palette. This palette contains settings that are specific to the object you have selected in the modeling window. For example, rounded cubes can have their roundness adjusted numerically or with this slider. With the Transform panel, you can move, rotate, and scale an object numerically. The Textures and Effects panel allows you to control how textures and effects are applied to the selected object. For example, I'll change the mapping for this block texture from cubic to planar. Notice how the texture now pushes through the rounded cube in a planar fashion. Next is the Environment palette. Use the Environment palette to set up the overall feel of the scene you're working on. The Lights panel is where you'll set up the scene lighting by using global lights, light domes, and ambient fill light. The other three tabs of this palette give you access to things like air, background, and ground settings. The Details palette shows information about your model or scene. In the History panel, you can see a list of the steps taken so far in this model and use it to undo and redo those actions. This functions just like the History panel in Photoshop. The Info tab helps you find out how many objects and polygons are in your scene. Now let's look at the Project window. The Project window helps you keep track of the objects in your scene and gives you access to many of the editable properties of your objects. The Project window also contains controls to assist you in creating animation. The animation controls are located at the top of the palette. The right side section of the palette can be hidden using the plus menu. This has been a brief overview of the Design 3D interface. To get more details on specific interface topics, watch the additional videos in the Getting Started series.